My question really is, how do you create that group of like-minded individuals? How do you find that groups that will make you the dumbest guy in the room, like you said, which is difficult, right? You can go to conferences, you can go to this, you can go to that, but what tools, or what have any of you guys used to challenge yourself, right, or to find that particular group? The question makes sense?
No.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I look for areas that, for example, not only my financial advisor, but I'm also a musician. So I try to find, different target groups, that, other musicians that, seem to have a, like-mindedness, if you will. And then out of that group, again, everyone doesn't think the same. So you have to, even within that target group, you have to find someone that has an entrepreneur mindset. And if you let folks talk long enough, they'll tell you who they are. So you just, that's one of the ways. Networking is a wonderful way to do that as well. It's very non-traditional. One of my agents, they were hired from a barbecue. We were just having, sitting around having a great time, and conversation came up about, doing something for the community, and she wanted to do something for our community. I said, great. I realized it was a divine appointment, and I hired her right on the spot. Because this is something that she really wanted to do. So I believe that each and every human being, we all have creative ability within us. Now we just got to pull us out of us. Let's find out who we are, where we are, pull. And I'll tell you this, we all know what the acronym JOB stands for, right? Just over broke. So if, there you go. And and for some of you, if you have been laid off, thank God. That's an opportunity now for you to pull out who you are and see how society at large can benefit from you. Because I firmly believe that you inhale and exhale not for you, it's for somebody else and to enrich someone else's life.
I would compliment on what you're saying is, there's another chapter we're talking here called connectivity and building your network. Case in point, let's say you went to undergraduate with who's now the chairman of, ExxonMobil, or let's say it's Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook, and you knew Mark at undergrad. You guys ate together, you might have helped Mark out. You ping Mark on Facebook, he's probably going to respond to you because there's a relationship there, rather than you, just trying to post Mark, hey Zuck, how you doing? I'm so-and-so, and you get ignored, And I think we have to start that connectivity process before we need a network. We tend to want to network, when we've got the pink slip, or it's already too late, or what have you, or we need capital in our business. And it's a constant process of networking and refining it. So whatever your industry of interest is, make sure you're part of that trade association. Make sure you're part of going to the innovative meetup groups in that area, or the thought groups. Like I was almost late getting over here because on monthly I participate in this very diverse group of 12 people. It's called a Big Table, and we sit around and just vent and talk about Atlanta's issues and how we can actually, disrupt those issues. And it's handpicked by James Andrews. He's a great networker himself, key influencer on Twitter. And we have these conversations. So the other side of it is going places you've never gone before. Stop being in comfortable areas. And then as you go through this process, I like to say this, it's okay to downsize or to experience a downsize. It's okay to give up some of these non-appreciating things we like to do, hanging out and spending $100 at the bar and the club, and you're not gonna find a wife or a husband in those places. You're tripping. We need to put things in context, take a step back, and just be real about where we are. Stop chasing the Joneses. The Joneses died. The Smiths moved in, they're renting, and it's owned by the Goldbergs up in New York, and you chasing renters and you own it, but you're living beyond your means saying you want to be an entrepreneur. Are you willing to give it all up and look your friends in the face and say, yep, lost the house, lost the car, lost it all, and I'm very conservative in how I am, but I'm going to create something that's never been done before. So now you'll have the extra $500 or $1,000 to go to that trade show instead of looking at a closet full of bags and purses and shoes and suits that are all just wasted money. So keep it simple.
You know, it's interesting that you brought that up. I'll just piggyback on that. Many years ago, when I first started my business, my brother would laugh at me and talk about how cheap I was because he said, you never spend money. But what he didn't understand is I was trying to build a business, and I realized that I need to keep all my money so that I can invest it in other areas. So learn to become minimalist while you're trying to build and get where you want to be. You don't need all that you probably think that you have. But the more you can let go of some of the things, you'll realize you have opportunities to spend it in other areas. In terms of really getting out there and trying to be, I don't want to be the dumbest in the group. I want to be right in the middle. I think the middle is a safe place. There's a couple of people I want to be a little bit brighter than, but I don't want to be the brightest in the group. And so one of the things that you're going to have to do is become more vulnerable. A lot of us don't tell our stories. We don't let people know what we want and what we need. And at the same time, share with people what you're looking for, what you're trying to achieve, but find out what do they need. When I network, I spend more time learning about that other person than most people. For the longest, no one knew what I did around here. They would see me show up, and I was more engaged with you, looking at you and wanting to know how I can help you. And I built my network that way. And so spend more time focusing less on you and focusing more on the other person. Because when you can start tapping into what other people's needs are, your needs will be met. It may not be met by the person sitting next to you, but someone else may be that deliverer of your blessing. So today, and this is just try it. As you're giving out your cards, try to learn about that other person. And stop focusing on your card, but rather on the other person's card. I went over to China for a month back in December. And one of the things that they used to do, or that they do, is that when they give each other the cards, you know, you bow. And it's customary that you have to look at the card for a couple of minutes before you put it away. That was to show a sign of respect. And it taught me to really spend time getting to know the other person. So as you go through the day, figure out what other people are doing. You know what you do. And your time will come where you can tell your story. But let other people tell their stories, because then that's when they'll gravitate towards you. People will want to get to know you and spend time with you.